I'm Charlotte from Charlotte So Natural, and welcome to this edition of Wisdom Wednesday. And today I'm going to do, I started to trim up a quilt to put some binding on, and I thought, I should show them how I did this before I fold it all up and get it quilted so you can't see. So I am starting with, let me take a real quick shot here. I'm starting with this really cute panel, and this is a Snow Valley from Wilmington. Cute, two snowmen in a winter scene, and I'm going to do a hexified version of this. So I'm going to stack 6 panels and save the 7th one to feature uncut up. And the way, there's a really cool helper online. First of all, if you're on Facebook, there's a great Facebook page that you could ask to join, and that is the One Block Wonder Facebook page. And on there, there is a design helper link, but you can get to this from anywhere. It is oneblockwonder.com and design-helper. So we'll put that in the description of this video, but it's oneblockwonder.com/design-helper. So when I go to that page, you can import, choose a local image to import. You click there. You have to have the image on your computer. So you need to be a little bit savvy on importing pictures. So I imported a picture from the manufacturer, from Wilmington's webpage, and there is the picture of my panel. And I have told it, its width in inches is 24, and the size edge of the triangle, and I played with this a little bit before I determined what I was going to do, but in this case I chose 6.5 inches for the side triangle. I actually, we cut the strips that you cut the triangles from at 5 5/8 inches. But again, this is all stuff that you just have to kind of play with. So I'm just going to giving you, this is like a Wisdom Wednesday, just a few tips. It's not a tutorial. But let me show you how this web page has a really neat built-in thing that now I've told it all this, and I'm going to make hexes. So I click Make Hexes. It draws the lines on the panel, and then it shows you what it looks like here. So I can now start clicking this, and things will change somewhere. Somewhere they'll change. So I can turn all, and it switches up. Turn all. It switches up again. Turn all, it switches up. There's a circle one. So this is a good one to watch. It gives you the 3 different versions of what you could do with that triangle. So this is just a fun thing to play with. But when you're ready to cut, then you're going to take your 6 panels. So I've got 6 panels, and you iron them. Don't use any moisture when you're ironing them. Just iron them real flat. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then here's my 6th one. Did I count that right? I thought I had 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I do. I have too many. So you stack 6 of them, keep the 7th one out. The way we're going to stack this is find one place kind of in the middle. In this case, I'm going to use the very tip of this bunny's eye. So it's a very exact line. So I can just go right in there, and I can insert a nice long straight pin into that point in each of the 6. Okay, so once you have that done, you're going to pull that through, and you're going to straighten these all out. So the first couple are the hardest. And once you get this started, so I'm holding my pin upright, and I'm just going to start snugging these out. And when I have it kind of close, I'm going to take a flower head pin, and I'm going to use this to go across. So this is standing straight up, so I'm going to go straight across. So now I'm going to take another point a little further along that same line, and let's say it's the end of this branch and it's the tippy top position. So I will go through like this and find this point in, again, all 6 layers. And again, I will stand my pin up straight and straighten 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I tell you what, this is a whole lot easier to do when you do not have somebody videotaping you. So it is going to be a little bit of tedious work, but I'm going to get that really nice and flat. And then when I have it nice and flat, again, I'm going to use a flower head pin to go straight across. So the idea is that you're going to take all 6 of these and you're going to have them all nice and flat and matched pretty exactly. Let's see if I can get them. So by the time I do the middle, then I'll do the midsections, and there are lots of real good tutorials. There are books, One Block Wonder, One Block Wonder Encore, another One Block Wonder Around the World. We have all kinds of patterns. We have a pattern that has a really good one for doing smaller ones. So once you have that all lined up, then you cut your rows and you cut your triangles from that. We're going to save this for the 7th one, because after you sew those together, it looks like this. So I have laid them out, and you can see I have laid them out in rows, and you sew the hexagons. You're just sewing the triangles to each other, and then you sew rows, which means that I can leave an opening to set in this panel. So this is what my finished, not finished, but my top looks like. So once I had my opening, I had my rows of hexagons laid out, I sewed them together in rows, I had an opening that I just laid on, I folded back the edges, I laid that on top of my 7th panel, and then I chose a little buttonhole stitch on my sewing machine, and I just went around it and essentially appliqued it down. And now I'm going to trim away the excess, so I have excess panel back here. So I'll just trim that away. I don't know if you can see the stitching line there. So it's nice and close. It's a little buttonhole stitch. And that, I'm just going to trim that away, and then we're going to quilt it. So that'll be kind of fun. I was cutting the bias for it. I had just measured the bias, measured the outside to see how much binding I needed. And I'll just review this. If you're interested in bias binding, I have another whole Wisdom Wednesday that we did a couple of weeks ago. I think you can find it in our YouTube library. But I cut the end off of this, the triangle, at a 45-degree angle. I moved it straight across, and then I sewed it. So you can see that is the triangle. It was over here. I just moved it straight across. Right sides together, sewed it, and now I'm going to press that, and I'm going to draw a line here before I pick it up. Take your friction pen, draw a line here. That will help you remember which one you're to cut. So that's the line we're going to cut. So we'll start folding in half, and then we will trim that up and make bias. And after Rita quilts it on the quilting machine, I bought a new snowflake pattern. It's going to be really fun, and we will have the model to show you, hopefully, maybe beginning of next week. Meanwhile, I've cut some 7-panel bundles for you. If you're interested in doing this, we have, so pretty much all I needed for this quilt is the 7 panels and the blue, half a yard of blue for the binding. Of course, you'll need some backing. I think I'm looking at, well, I'll tell you what I decide on next week. Anyway, we have a nice supply of the flat flower head pins. These are 2 inches in length. They are very good to use. So that's my wisdom for today, Wisdom Wednesday. Thanks.